So news came in that Google has closed down its Chinese website, google.cn. So the domain name google.cn does not exist anymore. So now if you try to go to google.cn, you would instead be rerouted to the Hong Kong website of Google, which is google.com.hk, I believe. So basically the Chinese website google.cn does not exist anymore. Google has entirely closed it down. So there you have it. Google has delivered on its previous threat, and now in a way Google has pulled out of China. First thing I want to say is, well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but give credit to Google. Google made a threat, and now it's executed on the threat. It delivers. Now when the news first broke out that Google was threatening to pull out of China, there were many people who believe it was nothing beyond just a threat. A lot of people believe that Google would not really do that. I wasn't one of those people, but I gotta admit that at the time I wouldn't be surprised if Google later decided not to really quit China. So, oops, look what Google has done to you. So yeah, credit to Google. You make a threat, and you have the guts to pull it out. So, all the more to you. All the more power to Google. So much for me being nice about this issue. Let's get down to the real business, shall we? First thing is, well, Google pulls out of China, but is that entirely true? As I said before, now if you type in google.cn on any web browser, you really won't be returned with a page, with a blank page that says such a domain name does not exist. Instead, you would be rerouted to the Hong Kong website of Google, which works just perfectly fine. You can, read news, do searching, maybe do shopping on it. You can do pretty much everything that you can do on google.cn, and still in Chinese. So to say that Google has pulled out of China, that statement would just come with too big of a catch, wouldn't it? Well, like it or not, Hong Kong is still part of China, legally. So, can't really say that Google has pulled out of China entirely. To say that would be like me saying Coca-Cola pulls out of the United States of America, but then somehow there is still, like, say, a vending machine that sells Coca-Cola somewhere in Alaska. It's not an entire or genuine pullout. So I call it an incomplete pullout or incomplete market exit, whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of the first thing that's kind of bugs me. Well, the second thing is Google has always cited two reasons for it threatening to pull out of China. The first reason is the constant filtering of search results on its search engine. So basically, when you search for material that's regarded as sensitive by the Chinese government, the results would be filtered. So essentially, you won't be able to see certain results that you would be able to see on, say, the global Google website. So that part we all know all about. It's no big news. We have all known about that part for some time by now. Well, that's always been going on ever since the get-go when Google came into China in 2006. The filtering has always been there. And as I said before in my previous segment, Google really never seemed to have a problem with that. Only until recently, when Google started voicing its displeasure with the practice of search results filtering. So that part is fine, that's fair. The other thing that Google claims is that it suspects that the Chinese government hacked into its private Gmail account. With that, Google actually promised to do a thorough investigation of what really happened, who did what on this incident. So that was, at the time, it was seemed to be promising news. Looks like it would be a developing story, but 2 months after, there really was no development out of this. So nothing came out of this. It was just the news was broken off. none of that investigation was ever mentioned again. We don't know what really happened. We don't know if Google ever really found any evidence that the hacking was done by the government, or as there was also news from the New York Times that suggests that the people who did that was college students from two schools inside China. One is Shanghai Jiaoda, the other is out of all schools in China. This is almost a joke. It's you will know what it is, but Lanxiang Jixiao, it's almost like a vocational school that you only go there if you can get yourself into even a community college. That's where you'd go if you can get into any regular college. So, but there was really never any confirmation with that either. That news broke out was a little sensation around that news, was mainly really because of how hilarious it is. But then nothing followed. At the end there was no verdict whether those are the people who hacked into Gmail or not. So my understanding of these two things is that Google has always been unhappy with the search filtering, but in general has been okay coping with this relatively. But then this whole Gmail hacking thing coming into play, and that was kind of the last straw on the camel's back, and that just made Google broke down. And this happens, and Google say, this is just too much to take. We're not gonna deal with this anymore. So we're just gonna pack up and call it quits in China. So it's rather unfortunate that the hacking incident, Gmail hacking incident, that story never was really completed or confirmed, never really coming to full details. I'd like to know more about that, like what really happened. And we never know. Maybe some more details, some new stuff will come out of it in the next few months or so. We never know. So I'll keep my fingers crossed on that, and I'd like to know what's really happening with that.